Hi, this is Ashley with the Bully Crew. I'm here with little Miss Clementine. We are currently on our way to UPenn to admit her for an MRI. We need to figure out what it is that has caused this little girl to not be able to walk. So please keep her in your prayers today and stay tuned for an update.
Hi, Clemmy.
She's like, I'm sleepy.
Hi, honey.
Someone slipped something in.
What happened, Mommy? Stay. I know you want me. It's okay. It's okay. They're gonna take good care of you, Mama. It's okay, honey. I know, Mommy. It's okay, Clemmy. Stay, honey. Stay. Hi, we just arrived at University of Penn. Me and my mother, Eileen. And we're going in to get Clementine. And we'll give you the update in a minute. Hi, look at you.
I know, we're going in the room. Come on,
Come
sweetie.
on, Clementine. Come on, baby.
I know, do the turn. There you
Come
go.
on.
There you go.
Hi.
There we go. We get to say
How
hi.
you doing?
Good job, sweetie. All right, you hang out right there.
Hi,
for a
Clementine.
second.
Hi. Are you hyper? You all awake now?
Yeah, she's
You hungry?
very awake. So I just wanted to chat about Clementine, and so I do have a discharge written out for you that you're going to be able to take home. Then I'm also going to email a copy to Carla as well.
Okay.
I'm just going to pull up an image real quick just so you can kind of even have the most general sense of what exactly we found in Clementine here. We'll get that view, and we will do this one and this one.
She gets around pretty good.
Yeah, she certainly does try to scoot quite a bit, which, you know, I'm glad she wants to move around as much as she does.
Yeah.
It does end up beating up her limbs a little bit, so
Yeah.
certainly keeping her somewhat confined and on
Hey,
soft
Clementine.
surfaces will be good for
I
her.
got some cookies for you in the car. Yeah.
So basically what we found on Clementine, so neurologically she can't move her hind limbs and she can't feel them, so we know that that's the most severe spinal cord injury a dog can have. And from her exam, we knew she was going to have a problem specifically in the upper part of her back. And so what we see with these images is, I'll scroll out so we can kind of have some idea where we're at. So this is her head up in this area and her tail is down here. And so this is the level of her spinal column. And what we see is this thing creeps along the bottom of her spinal column and extends back all the way to here, which is essentially about the level of from T1 all the way up there, all the way back to about T10-ish down here. And then if we look at what that looks like in cross-section, basically what this thing does, and I'll lighten it up more, is this all here is mass. This is all abnormal tissue. Her chest is down here, so this is invading in her chest. These are major blood vessels running through here too. This is her mass that goes up and creeps around and over. Also, it extends into the spinal canal, and so it's pushing the spinal cord all the way over to there, where now it's like that little rim where normally the spinal cord should take up that entire space. It also extends all up along the musculature up here as well. So it's this kind of large, extensive, and it like just goes and goes and goes. It continues to be from about there to there. Large, extensive, and invasive mass that
It's not good.
yeah, that unfortunately, given the location of it, not only is it affecting spinal cord, which is obviously how she came to meet me because of the neurologic dysfunction, but it also is affecting, you know, these other areas inside of her chest too. And so that is, you know, honestly, in the scale of like life-threatening issues, that's the bigger concern. Because her neurologic dysfunction is going to be what it is. She'll probably just always be like this. But what I'm more worried about is with time, if that continues to expand and affects those blood vessels up there, like that could basically make her acutely die from
Would
that.
chemo be any part of this that would shrink it?
So unfortunately, it doesn't sound like, you know, so we don't know exactly what kind of a mass this is
Has
because
to
we
be
don't have a piece.
biopsied.
Exactly, you need a biopsy to know for sure. That being said, just given her age and how unusual this is and where it's growing, we have our suspicion for what this most likely would be. And at least from the human side of things, because this is extremely rare to see in dogs, from the human side of things, it sounds like that usually isn't something that ends up having a great response. They'll usually try to, if they caught it really early, do surgery and then maybe follow that with chemo. And if that doesn't help, maybe as a last-ditch effort, do radiation. But in general, patients that have these tend to have a poorer prognosis. They don't usually live long. It usually happens in like younger kids too, it sounds like. If they catch them when they're very early and they can remove them all, that's like kind of the best case scenario. But obviously for her, this is so extensive at this point, and in the degree to which it's affecting things, that this is, it's not something that it would be easily amenable to surgery or to anything else. So, I mean, you certainly, what I wrote in the discharge is you're more than welcome to chat with a radiation specialist to see if you'd like to try that. You could always see if someone
oncologist and
yeah, exactly, and see if they would try chemo as well in it. But I think the bigger things to keep in mind with that are, at best, probably what that might be able to do is help at least keep the tumor from getting bigger. And bigger. Yeah, and kind of, affecting things in her chest sooner. What I'm not going to expect those things to do, though, is return her neurologic function. As far as I'm concerned, basically where she's at now,
she'll be that way.
Given how bad she is, yeah, she's going to be that way. And my bigger concern is, as opposed to a lot of the other dogs that we see with dysfunction like this, she has a problem that hasn't stopped. It's going to keep getting worse. And so that's where, I just worry. Luckily, she seems to have a good appetite, wants to do things, seems to have an okay quality of life otherwise.
So it might be somewhere of a point that it can be controlled if they do the biopsy and find it.
I mean, that I really can never predict, to tell you the truth. I think it would depend on a lot, but I think it's overall, my impression and my concern is that this is probably not going to have a great outcome, even if you guys were to go down that road. Okay. So you're welcome to investigate, because again, like, that's not something that we see very often. But from our side of things, like from the neurosurgical side, like, I wouldn't put her through a procedure because there's no thing that I would feel like I significantly was able to help her, and I don't want to put her through something if it's not going to have a great outcome for her.
Okay.